Hello guys, welcome back to the Media Nights. My name is Ari.
And I'm Denise.
And today we're going to be watching The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 3. Guys, it's been a whole week. We've gotten to mourn and feel the pain. I know a lot of you guys did not know, what was going to go down. And yeah, we saw a lot of comments with multiple different kinds of responses. And it sounds about right. Yeah, that's exactly how it was for the game community too. So it's exciting to see that the story is hitting the beats that they're supposed to. And yeah, it's not a fun one.
Yeah, honestly, knowing what we've known for like 5 years, and we've all of us gamers, we've had to hold on to that secret, and it was torture, and knowing what was going to happen definitely did not soften the blow.
Nope.
If you've seen our reaction, you already know that. But they did an incredible job, and now we're reaching a completely different part of the story, which I cannot wait to see how they're going to handle. So far, I think they've done a wonderful job really honoring the game, the characters, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen after.
I mean, this is episode 3, man. Let's see. Let's get these cylinders fired up. I mean, the previous episode had a specific tempo that I very much appreciated. I think it was one of the best episodes in HBO, one of the best episodes in TV history. I thought it was up there with the big epic scale episodes that we were used to back in the day with Game of Thrones. I think they've definitely got inspiration from that, and they were able to apply it here. And I cannot wait to see where they're going to lead us to, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here today. If you guys want to catch the full-length reaction alongside us with your own copy, that's going to be available on our Patreon. Thanks once again for watching. We hope that you guys enjoy. And as always, we'll catch you guys after the show.
Oof.
Yeah. The aftermath of the assault on Jackson.
Damn, dude. Are we picking up right where we left off?
Wow, right outside those doors. Getting the body ready for a funeral, I imagine.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. How do you even tell him?
I think he knows already. I can't imagine how he must be feeling right now. He was needed here too.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah. That watch, man. That meant everything to him.
The hell that they've both gone through. It's just such a symbol of the beginning of the end.
Give Sarah my love.
Wow. They were able to convey that heavy air that you feel after a massive tragedy like this.
My heart breaks for Tommy. He lost so much because it's also the people in Jackson. Friends, neighbors.
Yeah.
Oh, they have babies too, dude.
Oh my God. Yeah, she's out of it.
Yeah, I'm
Isn't
assuming what, they cracked her ribs or her lungs were messed up.
We're in the hospital. Are you in pain? We can give you something.
Yeah, coming to and realizing.
Ellie!
Yeah, they're gonna have to keep her sedated.
Yeah.
All that pain. I mean, it was traumatic to watch, right?
Yeah.
To a certain degree, even though it's fiction. I can't imagine someone actually going through that. That must be.
Oh, dude, because it's not just the loss of someone, which is hard enough as it is, but seeing how they go out.
Yeah.
And this violently, because it's like you can tell it was like it's a very natural thing that happens when you're grieving. It's like you first wake up and then it hits that you lost them, and and everything kind of comes back to you, and you see that shock just took her over completely.
Is it only going to be one person now, or is it going to be two?
Oh,
I'm wondering. Oh my God, they actually did it.
Fuck.
It's just her. Oh man. Damn.
I'm still a mess, bro. I had a whole week to process this. I'm still not okay.
Understandably. It's nice to see, though, that at least Jackson made it, right? It could have been a complete loss. That would have been insane.
Oh, 3 months. Okay.
There they are, hard at work, bringing everything back together. It's interesting how the previous episode was about loss. This almost feels now like it's about rebuilding, right?
It is. Oh,
moving
damn.
on.
All right. Strong kid. He's just showing off.
And how would you rate your pain? Scale of 1 to 10.
Nothing. 0.
0. Okay. One last PFT.
Yeah, they want to check her lung capacity.
Wow. All right. Today's the day.
So can I just...
Almost. I just need you to see one more person, then you're good to go.
I can only imagine who that's going to be. It's probably going to be a psychologist or something.
For fuck's sake.
I fucking knew it.
The therapist.
Her, too.
Okay, ask me again.
How are you doing, Ellie?
Give me a moment. It's really complicated because, feelings.
Okay.
Oh, come on, man. I've been stuck in here since...
Damn, dude. 3 months.
Yeah, I miss him. He meant a lot to me. So, yeah, upset and sad.
Of course. But I was actually wondering about New Year's Eve. You two got into it at the dance. Was that the last time you spoke to him?
When I got home, he was on the porch, and I should have talked to him, but I didn't.
Do you regret that?
Yeah, of course. But your final moment with someone doesn't define your whole time with them.
It shouldn't, but it often does. In my last moment with Joel, he said he wronged you.
Oh, he's trying to get to the truth, huh?
Yeah.
He wants to know what happened.
He said, I saved her.
No idea what he meant. I don't feel wronged. Man, I wish I could have let him off the hook for whatever it was he was talking about.
She's not ready to confront that, huh?
No.
I'll have to let myself off the hook for that.
Well, you really are doing good. Everyone were as healthy as you. What would I do for weed and booze?
I wouldn't worry, Gail. There's still a lot of fucked up people in this town.
Yeah, but not you, though.
No, she's coping very well.
Yep, not her. She's good.
She's so not ready to be honest about all of this.
No.
I can't blame her. A lot that went down, a lot of complicated feelings.
You gotta give it time. Oh, that's an amazing shot. I love that tracking shot.
Oh, look at her. How
Yeah.
her face
The
changes.
facade is shifting.
Bella Ramsey's incredible, man.
She's not okay.
No.
Of course not.
Oh, dude. It's nice to see how many people did care for him.
Yeah, did love him
Yeah.
because he did care for the community, as we saw here. He was
Yeah.
helping a lot with the building of Jackson.
They're not going to make us do this again, are they?
Oh, yeah. I love how the light shines through the window. Very much looks like the menu for the game. There's always a very heavy emphasis on windows.
Yeah.
He had his hobbies, huh?
Yeah. Doing his little wood carvings.
Yeah, and his gun. So interesting what all of that symbolizes, right? He was a complicated man.
Yeah. So much love and so much violence all in one person.
Yeah. It's like it can't be real, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, back to faking being okay.
Yeah, I'm coming.
How is she doing too? Because she was close with him
Dude.
as well.
I can't imagine. She was right there, but she was passed out for all of it.
When they let you out?
30 minutes ago, they made me talk to Gail.
Oh.
I should have said thank you for all those times she came to visit.
He would have done the same for me.
Yeah, maybe not as often.
Yeah, no problem.
At least she's honest.
I made you cookies.
Oh? Just 'cause?
No, this is a peace offering because I'm about to make you angry.
Oh, Oh no.
Angry how?
I told you I didn't learn anything useful.
Dina?
Okay.
I know most of their names, and I know where they're from. Please just listen.
Give a fuck.
And I knew that if I told you where they were, you'd just start pulling your tubes out and crawling on your hands and knees to get there.
I don't give a fuck. You cost us time. You let them get away.
First of all, this town was wreckage and funerals for weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me that if you want to find someone and the only thing you know about them is where they're going to end up, maybe let them get there.
True.
Smart plan. Yeah. You don't want
True.
to lose them by
No, I
chasing
mean-
after them.
He's right.
I loved him too, you know.
Hey, at least that
Yeah.
worked.
Good. She's taking the peace offering.
Okay, let's start with names.
Yes.
The dark-haired guy was Manny.
The girl with the braid.
Abby.
Yeah.
Abby.
The one that actually did the doing.
I saw a patch on a backpack and the letters WLF. And then I remembered a story Eugene told me from back when he was a Firefly. He said that there were these small regional groups in the West all trying to fight Fedra. One of those groups was the Washington Liberation Front.
Damn.
There we go.
She pieced everything together.
Dude, she's smart.
Did he say how small they were?
No, seeing as how no one's ever mentioned them since, I'm guessing small enough for us to handle.
Yep.
I wasn't going to tell anyone before you. So now what?
Well, now that spark is lit,
No,
right?
yeah.
Now you need to know.
I appreciate Dina for coming forward, though. Like, Ellie deserved to know. It was not the right time. Like, I think she did the right thing.
I gotta think about this.
Think about what? Let's fucking get these guys.
The town is still recovering.
We get where you're coming from. No, we don't get where you're coming from. We'll be halfway to Seattle before the sun came up.
We'll just break him like it was his fault. I saw that time and time again, and don't talk to me like I didn't know him.
Yeah. I mean, he understood him as well.
Yeah, but Joel still would have gone after them.
I'm not saying you shouldn't do this, but if we're gonna put a posse together, we gotta do it right, which means taking it to Maria.
Oh, good Lord.
She's gonna want a council meeting, open it up to the town.
Oh, yeah.
But you'll back us, right?
Of course I will.
You better.
Come on.
Yeah. She needs a big hug.
Yeah.
And you hold out information on me again, you got rendering detail for a month.
Damn.
All right.
He's right, though. They got to run this through the town. They're the ones that are going to be using resources.
Yeah.
Buried our dead 10 miles south of town if you want to visit them.
When we're on our way to Seattle.
The thing is, like, right now, Jackson is at such a precarious place. Every resource is so much more pressure than it would have been before.
Absolutely. Wow. Look at all that green. Oh, sheesh. There, yep, communicating through whistles.
I'm getting goosebumps, you guys. This is so reminiscent of the games.
That's
It's incredible.
No one falling, all clear. Keep moving.
Good. Once we get resettled, I'll teach you to whistle.
well, that's so cool that we actually get to learn what it means.
Yeah.
Why can't she just keep us safe?
The prophet? She's been dead 10 years, Constance. I wouldn't count on her to help.
Ezra said the prophet is eternal.
Prophet isn't magic, and that's how we keep her spirit alive. Follow her words, we obey her teachings, but we keep ourselves safe.
I appreciate that. They don't just expect a miracle from the prophet. They still go about things themselves.
Tell me, you feel safer?
Yes.
Understand what we're giving you now. Keep you far, far safer than a hammer. Distance.
Hmm.
From war.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they're alert.
Take cover!
Oh, shit.
Time to go.
It's incredible that they constructed their own language with whistles. It's amazing.
That's a real world thing, though. There's
Yeah.
a lot of tribes that used to do that and still do to this day.
No, it's just really cool that they figured it out, you know, somehow, themselves.
Demons?
Wolves.
Oh, shit.
The WLF.
Now the right side. Just the right side.
Come on, man. That side hurts more.
I noticed.
Uh,
Let's
go. Last 5.
Damn, she's going hard. Good stuff.
So what'd you think?
Well, for someone who sat on their ass for 3 months. Push-ups?
Yeah, crunches when they weren't looking.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Damn, dude.
To where you were before.
Nice.
Which is 80% of where you should have been.
Whatever, fuck you.
80% of where she should have been.
Heard you're on the council now.
Yep.
All right, Jesse.
The meeting coming up.
I know about the meeting coming up.
Can I count on you?
Put in a good word.
Jesse.
You were there.
I know that too. The council won't make up their mind until we hear people speak. So here's a little advice. Organize your thoughts, write them down, and then read them out loud tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, because I'm stupid.
Because you're angry, Ellie.
Yeah.
And no one's gonna vote for angry.
Exactly. It can't just be about getting revenge, right? She has to, the way she communicates is going to be very important.
Corn, you can plot a graph that shows ease and resources.
They're like, oh my God, can we get 2 hours already?
I said that Joel meant so much to so many of us, but he wasn't the only one. I lost my sister that day. A lot of people in here buried family. Well, while they're gone, who's going to be on the wall if raiders come?
That is...
Tommy and Ellie, we are too hurt, and it is too soon.
Yeah, that's the logical response, actually. They don't have enough people.
Next is Carlisle.
It's an impossible choice.
People came and killed Joel, so why wouldn't we want to take our vengeance? Because we're not supposed to. Forgive and be forgiven. That's what separates us, our capacity for mercy. Those sons of bitches don't deserve our mercy.
Ooh, he's standing up for her.
Wow. That's a pleasant surprise.
What, we gotta forgive everybody when they show up and piss in our eye? They came into our house. They took one of ours. My God, somebody shoots your brother. You want to take the locks off your doors? Grow up! You idiots. They'll come back. They'll come back because we didn't make them pay.
Oh, that's going to instill fear in them.
And you'll all deserve it. Bunch
Wow.
of goddamn victims.
I'm actually glad they gave him more of a spotlight.
Me too.
Damn.
That was a great monologue.
Very interesting to hear the perspectives of these people, right?
It's great to see both sides of the coin. Oh, this is going to be the hardest one.
I mean, we know where she stands,
Yeah.
but how do you...
How do you put it into words, you know?
Yeah.
How do you keep it organized?
I normally don't write things down because I normally don't think before I talk. I know what I'm asking is a lot. I'm asking us to risk more people and resources and at the worst possible time. And I want everyone to know it's not because I want revenge. It's not. It's not about revenge. I want justice. Because it's either that or we do nothing. That's what everyone else out there is going to do for us. We have a word for these people. They're called strangers. And I swear, if someone hurts any of you or the people you love, you can count on me. That's what holds all this together. Definitely not a wall, because that thing got busted through, but Jackson is still here.
Right, it's because they stuck together.
Yep.
They had each other's backs.
Do what it takes to see that justice is done. Not for me, not even for Joel. Do it for us.
That's going to get a lot of them thinking. We are family, right? We are more than just strangers.
Well written, Ellie.
And it's not antagonizing either side, too.
To send a party of 16 citizens to Seattle to find the people who killed Joel and execute them.
I can't imagine how people must feel about this because it's such a personal loss, but also they're in such a crappy situation right now.
It means being vulnerable for that time.
Yeah. And we don't know what could happen.
Here it comes.
Yes. No.
I think it's going to be close.
No. No. No.
Well, yeah.
Sheesh,
that's
yeah.
it.
The proposal is rejected.
Adjourned.
That's it, yeah.
Damn.
They made up their minds. They had a vote. Ellie must feel like the system let her down.
Yeah.
But these things are important. Because if you don't have this, then you don't have order.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need order.
Here we go. Attaboy 9!
Gail is such a vibe.
You want a beer?
Get them for Marshall.
That's so nice they even have this, dude. What an amazing life they were able to build.
Yeah, and for the kids as well.
Yeah, have some sense of normalcy.
I thought to myself, she's probably been extra busy these last few weeks.
Brutal.
Dude.
I'm the only one here.
So what do you do then?
Oh, well, I'm an alcoholic. But you're not here because you're worried about me.
Why is he here?
You see things others don't. I'm nervous she's going to do something stupid.
She's a liar.
Well, there's a difference between lying and being a liar.
It was maybe one person she told the truth to, and he's
gone.
What matters is you're afraid. So let's talk about it. Free of charge.
Damn, on the house?
She's a sweetheart.
Want her to go down the same paths that Joel did. All he was really doing was lashing out.
Turns out nurture can only do this much. If she's on a path, it's not one that Joel put her on. I think they were walking side by side from the very start.
They understood each other because they were the same.
You inherited her, and you want to keep her out of trouble. Take it from a psychotherapist of 40 years. Some people just can't be saved.
Damn.
It's a little grim,
Yeah.
I think, for Ellie.
Like, some people are beyond saving. That's rough. But she's the one with experience, right? She probably knows. She's seen all kinds of people.
I just don't see that really fitting for Ellie.
Who is it?
Girl.
Oh, she is. Yep. Prepping, huh?
I'm just going to bed.
Dude, look at all the stuff she hoarded. My God.
Yeah.
Christ. Please don't try and talk me out of this. Oh, you think that's why I'm here? So, what's your plan?
Go to Seattle and kill Abby.
What route?
Northwest.
Do you have medical supplies in there? Not land weird on an ankle or get a fever on your well-charted path northwest.
Yeah. Have more of a plan. Make a route. Where you're going to stay.
Provisions. Travel light but smart. Winter coats for beds, jackets for...
Wow.
Wow, she's planned out.
Is that Joel's? That's what you're gonna kill him.
Fucking right.
And save it for that. It's slow and kicks like hell. Really? Shoot your damn ass off?
Oh. Yeah, Joel said that to her.
Everything else is what you'd figure except this. Boots. So you open country and fucking chucks.
I've done it before.
No chucks. Questions.
You need the boots, man.
Oh, no. No, don't tell me you told Jesse, please.
Captain Wyoming? No.
Captain Wyoming.
Everything else needs to fit inside a holster or your backpack. We meet by the old East Gate, 3 a.m.
Damn, she's a real one, man.
I know.
Put that whole thing together.
Thank you.
Yeah, you could have just asked.
No, I actually didn't know that.
Now you do.
Yeah, she's with you. Ellie is the offense and Dina is the one with the plan, right? You need that.
I love that they give these moments to Dina, you know, where we understand where her competence is coming from, right? She's smart, she's savvy, she plans things out. She thinks ahead, which is what Ellie... Oh, wow. Bigot sandwich guy? My goodness.
Trade.
Wow.
It's better. Trade.
Wow, he did right by them.
He really did.
By her, by Ellie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not letting that go.
Janine's night watch at the stables. She's sympathetic to our cause.
Our cause?
You're the one that gave the us speech, not me. I'd come with you, but I caught some friendly fire on New Year's Day.
You sure it's friendly?
Jesus Christ.
Sure it was friendly.
Let's get you going.
He really came through. I'm very surprised.
Well, I'm sure it's nice to Ellie also to hear that she's not alone with how she feels, right?
Right.
Like, there's more people that do agree with her, but their hands are tied. Wow. That actually added a lot more depth
It really
to
did.
this moment.
I appreciate Ellie for kind of putting aside her anger towards him in that moment and shaking his hand.
Look at the landscape, man.
Wow.
Oh, this is where they buried them?
So many people, dude. That is devastating. You can see the pain in Dina's eyes too.
Oh, he loved coffee. Oh man. Yeah, you got to hold on to those happy memories and happy thoughts, man.
Because it was more to Joel than just pain and anguish, right?
Yeah. He did enjoy the little things.
Yeah.
These shots are beautiful, man. Like this episode is so atmospheric, I want to call it. Like it really just, it's a slow burn. It just lets you kind of
take everything in, right?
Yeah. Feels like it's transporting you to a world. And it's cool to see that this is the moment where they're leaving Jackson and they're actually exposed to the, to the whole world.
Yeah.
And the way they're depicting that here is fantastic. Wow. Gonna be a long journey.
F. Fleetwood Mac.
Nope. Yeah, well, your opinion is wrong because Frank Zappa exists.
I mean, that's pretty close.
Green Day.
No, you're wrong. It's Guns N' Roses.
Hey, Guns N' Roses.
Again, it's pretty close.
They've got good taste.
Let me see a new topic.
Or silence.
Got one. First person you kill.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, fun stories of childhood.
Jeez. Gonna go dark.
In Kansas City, you got jumped by this kid. I raised my gun and,
Sorry, Ellie.
I shoot a guy and you feel sorry for me.
I'm just loyal like that.
Interesting commentary.
Do you see any outcroppings or spots with cover?
Why? Looks okay.
So interesting that Ellie is literally and figuratively in Joel's position. She's the one controlling the horse. She's the one that wants the silence.
Well, good night.
Night.
They must be exhausted after all that.
Okay, but I have a stupid question.
Classic sleepover vibes.
It's about New Year's Eve and, the kid.
Oh, we're talking about this.
Whatever, you were super high. And you were drunk.
So it doesn't mean anything, if that's what you're asking.
No, I know that. My question is, how would you rate it?
Oh, spicy.
You've kissed girls before. You're gay, I'm not. I'm just curious. Want to know if I'm any good at it.
Okay, fine, 6.
Fuck you.
Ooh.
Bad?
It's not good. Damn, Ellie.
Ruthless Ellie.
Well, you asked, and I told you. I'm sorry. You can go back to Jesse.
I already did.
Well, there you have it.
Does he ever strike you as sad?
Yeah. Has he ever told you why?
I think deep inside that's just how he is. At least I hope that's why.
Why would you hope that?
Well, because if it's not that, then it's me.
Oh, you can't blame yourself for someone being sad all the time.
Good night.
Night.
Ellie?
Oh my God.
So relatable.
That high.
Ooh.
And you say,
I wasn't that drunk.
Yes, that's what you say,
that was
Ellie.
Come on,
on.
Ellie. What's going on here? Oh, it's one of them?
Oh, wait, are we on the path that we saw?
Yeah. This looks like the aftermath.
He was running away.
What's that symbol?
Oof. Be very careful, guys.
A lot of different calibers. I don't think this was Fedra. Dina. Dina!
What the hell?
Oh no, what did she find?
You okay? This is just...
Oh, do we want to know? Guessing bunch of bodies, huh?
It's got to be bad in order for Dina to react like that.
Jeez. It's a massacre.
Yeah.
Oh, they did not make it. Even
the
kids? Yeah,
dude.
what the fuck, man?
Oh, she has the hammer in her hand.
Doing okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, it's never happened before. I think it was a smell.
Yeah.
If Abby and her crew did this to people, to kids?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it reinforces all the hatred they already have for these people.
Yeah.
Like how could they do this? They're
like,
monsters.
What happened to the code?
Yeah, because Abby had that self-righteous speech about having a code and not murdering unarmed. I mean, I guess technically they're not unarmed, but come on.
Right.
Like a kid.
We're close now.
Oh yeah, they've got cards. Oh, is this it? It's the end of the forest.
Wow. Look at this, dude. Look at what they've built.
It's quiet.
Too quiet.
Curtis or Viper?
Both in all 4 movies.
9 more miles.
Wow, they're close.
There it is in the distance. They made it to Seattle. Now, how the hell do you find a group of people? It's still an entire city.
Yeah.
You got to scout.
Wow. Fucking Seattle.
Wow.
Plus, no one's shooting at us.
That's a plus.
Because there aren't that many wolves.
There's about to be a whole lot less.
Curtis or Viper?
What? No, that was just me. I was trying to sound like a badass.
You don't need to try.
You're already a little badass, Ellie.
Manny.
Oh, catching up with Manny.
We're moving up to the fob. All clear between checkpoint 3 and 5.
You're all good. You can move up.
Yeah, they got the city under control. They know exactly when someone is coming in and out.
Yeah, and it looks like it's not just Manny that's keeping watch.
Mm-hmm.
Since it looks like they have sectors and stuff, so...
Whoa, is that a whole tank?
Holy shit. Yeah, it is.
Oh.
God damn, dude.
Yeah. So they've got resources, huh?
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Sheesh.
It's a lot of them.
Meet the wolves, right?
Meet the wolves.
That's a great way to reveal that. It's not just 5 or 6 people, you know? It's
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And they keep
the whole battalion.
coming.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
Well, that was episode 3. I gotta say, I appreciated a lot of things about this episode. It's a slower episode. I know a lot of people are not gonna like that, especially after an episode like the last one we had, which was an amazing episode. But I think this was very much needed. It's kind of like those veggies you need. You know, you don't want. You want to eat the burger, but you know you have to eat them. And this was just that. This is setting up, you know, the pieces on the chessboard, and it needed to happen. And we needed to transition between them being in Jackson, going all the way to Seattle. And I gotta say, they could have done it in a much more uninteresting way. And I really much appreciated how they took the time to kind of let the audience, like I said, absorb the scenery, the landscapes. That's also a big part in the games. And I like that we didn't lose that atmosphere, that sense of heaviness, that weight, that dread of the unknown, of what are these two ladies going into. And I like the underlying horror of the unknown, of not knowing, and then getting that reveal at the end. I think that was the payoff, because you get these dialogues between Dina and Ellie where they're talking, and it's like they don't really know the scale of the wolves, and the audience don't really know the scale of the wolves, right? We're still wondering, is it going to be 6 people, 10, 15? I mean, we knew, but you know. And then that reveal at the end, I think it puts into context when it starts to settle in, is like, you can't prepare for this. As much as Dina and Ellie have prepared, as much as Dina has a plan,
right?
You're still 2 ladies against a whole militarized
fleet,
squad. Yeah, it's a battalion. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's a bunch of people. They've got tanks, they've got light machine guns, they've got resources that not even Jackson has. And I think that is terrifying. That's where it puts it into perspective of what they're walking into and how they're going to have to go about this. Because you can't do it the Ellie way. Whatever Ellie had in mind of, you know, just as easy as finding Abby and killing her, it ain't that easy. You know, it's not. And I'm curious to see now how they're going to navigate that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, especially because, you know, we're all filled with so much rage, right? We're in Ellie's shoes at the moment. We just want to get to the good part. You know what I mean? We just want to get to, you know, what Ellie wants to do. We just want to reach that point. And, you know, having this big reveal, it really goes to show what they're up against and how just 2 people, not even 16 people, would be enough for this kind of task. If we think about it, right? They were going to send 16. This is an army, you know, and it's a very terrifying image. And I love that that's where they left it at. It's like, it just gives you that pit in your stomach and you're like, dude, how the hell are they going to do this? And I'm very much looking forward to next episode. I think this one gave us all of the in-between moments in the most entertaining way that they could. I think they did the best that they could. It's like you said, it's the veggies, right? It's the in-between, it's the filling that we need. We need all of this context. And it's tough because, you know, we get 1 episode per week and it really does test your patience. You know, at least in the game, you could just keep on playing. You know, you could just overnight that. Here we can't. We just have to be very patient. And it's funny because it really does put us in the perspective of Ellie, where it's like we just want to freaking go. Let's just freaking do this, but we can't. And they made some changes from the game and I appreciate them a lot. I think within the context of this, they made sense. You know, it's fascinating to see how people are coping with the loss of Joel. Many people were both sides of the equation, right? A lot of people wanted to go after these people that did this to Joel, one of their own, you know, just right under their noses. And some people don't, you know, they don't have the resources. They're not strong enough right now to accomplish something like that. And I really love that they acknowledge that thoroughly in this. It's not just, you know, the conversation that we got in the game between Tommy and Ellie. It's everyone, and everyone has feelings about this. And the fact that we got Seth on our side, on Ellie's side.
That was a pretty cool twist.
That was a great twist. I really love that they did that.
They're giving him depth. He's not just a bigot.
He's a complicated bigot.
Yeah. No, and listen, like I liked his portrayal too of Seth because in the previous episode or whenever it was where, I think it was the previous one, right? Where he gives them the sandwiches and he's like, oh, it's steak. The way that the actor portrayed that, you could really feel that he felt ashamed of what he did. And he knew that he messed up and he wanted to do right by them, and Ellie was not ready to accept the apology. And again, I like the themes that they're starting to plant here, the seeds that they're starting to plant here with Ellie. I like the seeds that they're starting to plant here when it comes to, you know, being wronged and how you go about that. And I thought it was very interesting to see Seth step up and, you know, like his part of the speech of saying, no, like we need to do something about this or else they're gonna stomp us out of existence. And that comes from a place of fear. And after what just happened, I can imagine there's a lot more people that feel that way that weren't vocal in that meeting. And I like that Seth stood up and did that. I thought it was interesting, and it added a different perspective because it's not just hatred, it's also fear. And I love how they're exploring the human psychology of why we do the things that we do, how we justify violence, how do we justify revenge.
Right.
And you get this group of people all trying to, you know, share their point of view. I thought that meeting was very interesting, hearing every single perspective, because it's in a way the show is doing something very interesting, where it's kind of echoing the same discussions that we as players had amongst us in the community, where it was like, was Joel right? Was Abby right?
Right.
What was fair? What was not fair? Wouldn't have you done the same if this was your father?
Right.
What was Joel supposed to do? Let Ellie die? Like these conversations all happened amongst the community. And I love how they're echoing that here, where it's like, okay, if we're going to go after Abby and the crew, what is justifying that? Is it just revenge? Is it more than that? Do we need it to be more than that? Because if it's just revenge, do we feel bad about it? Right? So do we need to lie to ourselves and say, oh, it's all these other things? Or is that an actual genuine possibility that we might be under attack from these people now that they know that we're here? All very valid points.
Yeah.
How do we prepare for another assault, another siege on Jackson when we barely just made it?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, this is different from just the runners and the infected, you know, like, which are essentially mostly more like mindless beasts.
Well,
right.
That's another interesting part, that in the games, they are mostly that. Here, we've seen them freaking strategize. We saw them move out of the way, stop banging on the doors because they knew they weren't getting through, and they let the bloater do its thing.
Yeah.
Which is something that Jackson did not even account for.
Right.
So they are able to strategize, just obviously not the same way that a human could, but to your point.
But yes, so the thing is, you're very right. It's strategizing in a way that, is superior to animals, not quite at the human level, but it's still strategy nonetheless.
Still effective, clearly.
It's still very effective. Yeah, I mean, they got through. So what do you do now if you have this unknown group of people?
If these guys show up
if
at their door
these guys show up
with their tanks, and what the hell are they going to do?
What else do they have?
Yeah, right.
And it is a valid question. And again, I love what you said, that it is based on fear, right? And how close is it really to fear mongering versus a very realistic threat that could be? Right? It's been 3 months. You could also argue that if they were going to attack Jackson, they would have done it already. You know what I mean? But again, you don't know. And right now, it's such a scary situation that Jackson and its inhabitants find themselves in, because you really don't know. You don't know who you're dealing with. How many of them are there? It's the bare minimum of information. And it's not like they can Google it anymore. The only thing that they have is word of mouth. Right? It's what Dina heard from Eugene. Those things here and there. And it's frightening. But when we come to the emotional level of things, I agree with you that they did such a fantastic job of adding nuance to this situation, where on an emotional level, I think a lot of us will agree that, we would want revenge if we were in Ellie's situation. And I know that this might be a tough pill to swallow, but we would also want revenge if we were Abby, right? If someone killed your father just like that in cold blood, and not even just your father, like it was a rampage. Joel was a one-man army. We can't forget that. We can't forget that moment where he tore through that hospital and annihilated so many lives. We can't forget that. So it's like, there's no easy answer to it, And I love that they brought in a different perspective where it's like, we need to show mercy. We need to forgive and be forgiven, because that is also a part of this equation. We can't forget that either. And that discussion, I think, it's a very difficult one to have, because it's like, is it an eye for an eye, or do you turn the other cheek? And I think it's a bit of both. And I think it depends on the situation. And this one, there are a lot of lives on the line, So it's difficult, but I love that they showed us both sides of the perspective, because that's what the story is about at the end of the day. It's about perspective and empathizing to a way where you at least try to understand where the character comes from. Even if you don't like them, you try to understand where they're coming from by putting yourself in their shoes. That's what this is about. And I think that's what the game was about. And this show is absolutely nailing that for me.
I think I agree. I think it's a difficult thing to do, but you can't lose sight of that, of your own judgment, and you have to look at things from a very neutral point of view sometimes to understand it. And in my personal life, I very much try to, she laughs because she knows. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I try to communicate with them and have a conversation. Okay, why do you think this way, or why do you want to act upon a certain thing in this way and not the other way, and try to figure out where they're coming from and understand them. And I think the way that this story is a criticism in a way for human behavior, and the way that we are able to justify things that people that we like do, versus when somebody that we don't like, when they do the same exact thing, we jump on that.
Then it's wrong.
We jump on the bandwagon of hating on them because we don't like them. And we are not honest with ourselves enough to say, I am aware they did the same exact thing, but I hate this person. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And people just, they're not brave enough to confront that within themselves. They feel dirty about it because they know it's not fair. So it's like, okay, when a person or character that I love does something wrong, it's okay because I'm rooting for him.
Right.
Because, or them, doesn't have to be a he, right?
Right, them.
I'm rooting for them, and they're doing this thing, and whatever, I'm behind them. Yeah, it's messed up, but I like them, so whatever. But when it's someone does the exact same thing, and it's someone that we hate, it's like, oh my God, it's the end of the world, and we need to kill her. How dare she? And the response that we got last week was very much that. A lot of people just had that emotional response, and it goes to show how emotions can be so interesting and how much they control what we do and how we perceive things.
Yeah.
It's not logical, because if it was logical, and a lot of people were logical, where they were like, listen, Joel kind of was a piece of shit to a lot of people.
We got
a lot of people. We got a
both
lot.
perspectives.
I loved seeing the entire spectrum, because And I don't necessarily like favor one or the other. I just enjoy seeing that visceral response from people from a piece of media, a piece of art. And I think that's what makes the story so special. It generated that, whether it's love or hatred for the story, you're still talking about it. It's still in your mouth, you know? And I think what it's trying to do, it's important. I think we live in a world where it's very easy to lose sight of our values, and it's very easy to justify people doing certain things that are unspeakable.
Right.
And because we have this tribalistic team mentality, it's just gone so far now where it's like, as long as they're wearing the same colors I'm wearing, man, I don't give a shit about, you know, what they're doing. I don't care. I agree with them. Period.
Yeah.
There's no nuanced conversation. You can't be part of the team if you're against what they're doing.
Right.
Even if you agree with, you know, their train of thought, but they're going about it in a completely different way, that it's fine. You can still justify it because guess what? They're wearing my colors. And what this story is doing is shining a light on that very hypocritical human behavior that we all have, by the way. I'm not trying to be self-righteous here with this whole thing.
No.
I'm just trying to point out that that's a very interesting thing that us humans do, where it's like, you know, we should be a bit more honest with ourselves. And I think a lot of people are afraid of that because it is a scary thing when you start to place that kind of, you know, those glasses on. When you put those glasses on and you realize, okay, let me view myself as, what if I'm wrong? What if I am the villain in their perspective? And you become a bit more, what would be the word?
Self-aware?
Not just self-aware, but also compassionate, I would say. Right? Mercy is a different thing, but I think compassion, right? Understanding and feeling that empathy for what other people are going through is something that I feel like we're losing slowly. I think just us, like humanity in this moment in time and in the modern times that we live in, we've lost a lot of empathy. We justify a lot of shit that shouldn't be justified, and we just kind of go about it. Right. And a lot of people are just trying to survive, so they don't have the energy to speak up, right? They're too busy.
Or you're too scared.
Yeah.
You know, there are more things at stake for you. It's what Jackson is going through, right?
Exactly. Where they're like, we understand the movement behind what you're trying to do, but how could we afford to do this right now?
Realistically speaking, and you know, when this game first come out, like him and I, we had some very passionate conversations when it comes to this. Because
well, you could say it. We did not agree.
No, we didn't
not agree. Yeah, and I think that's a very interesting topic to point out.
Well, the thing is, like, what we need to remember is that this story is not supposed to be easily consumed. It's supposed to make you think. It's supposed to make you upset and angry and sad. That's the point. It's supposed to get us talking, right? Whether you're talking about the games or the show. And I'd much rather focus on, you know, the themes instead of, oh, like the casting this or this and that or blah, blah, blah. It's like, let's listen to the themes here. That's what we need to focus on, because they're talking about something very important. And our conversations, you know, like I deeply respect you and how you're able to see both sides of an equation, right? You make the effort. And I think the whole world could use a little bit more of that. I am capable of, you know, empathizing, but it's to a degree. That's why I said, you know, I think it is sometimes important to just stop the cycle, because everyone is a villain in someone's story. Like I mentioned, an eye for an eye, yes, but it makes the world go blind. If all of us go an eye for an eye, we're going to be in a really tough situation. And one person has to make the decision to stop and say, you know what? Fuck it. The bigger picture is more important than what I think is going to make me feel good, right? Revenge, justice, I think sometimes they walk hand in hand. I think it's a little simplistic to say, oh, revenge is never justice. I think depending on the situation, sometimes it can be. And I believe that sometimes what is perceived as justice is not quite enough. Again, like you said, this is a deeply emotional story. This is not where logic kicks in for many of us, because we are so emotionally invested. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, you know, when I was playing this, I was Team Ellie all the way, man. Like, you know, this is supposed to test you in many ways. And I think it really is about applying what is necessary in the moment, right? Sometimes, you know, we do need to be more forgiving. We do need to be more empathetic, but there are also times where you need to say, stop. This is where it ends. This is where it stops. No more nice guy, nice gal, nice person. This is where it ends. You have to draw the line. You have to stop it, and you have to stand up against injustice and unfairness. And it's like you said, right? So many people are scared to say the right thing or to stand up for what they believe in because they're tired, because they don't have the resources, because they're scared. And then you have, you know, people like the wolves who clearly are not tired tired, they do have the resources, and they can just keep going. So this is like, I can't wait to see what the comments are going to look like when it comes to this discussion. I think they're handling it wonderfully in the show. Again, this episode was a little bit slower, but I also think that, you know, when it comes to pacing, it makes sense. You kind of have to give us some time to breathe. You know, we have to take the time, like Ellie had to take the time. Like, we had a hard time waiting for a week. This girl had to wait for 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months stuck in that hospital bed, just, sneaking in crunches whenever she could, because the doctors just wouldn't let her otherwise, you know. She had that in mind. She needed to get out of that bed. That is her goal. And I can't wait to see where they're going to take this.
Yeah, I thought this episode, I don't think it's going to be a lot of people's favorites. Like I said, I was definitely not one of mine. I think it was a bit slow. It's the conversation that's the most, intriguing, most thought-provoking part of this episode, and it goes, it ties back to the conversation that a lot of people have been having, like I said, within the game community for years now. So I did enjoy that. I enjoyed that we got to Seattle because that needed to happen.
Yeah.
But I feel like we could have sped up the process just a little bit for the sake of entertainment. I still think that I like Bella Ramsey as Ellie in a lot of moments. I don't know how I feel about this episode in particular. I was expecting a bit more weight coming from her, and I understand like that's a mechanism the character's probably using, right? Like Ellie's probably using to not address a lot of the issues. So she's just like barreling through. But I wanted to see a little bit more nuance and a little bit more of that grief, because I feel like I had more of a response,
right,
to losing Joel. So I think they could have addressed it. And the thing is, they did do a lot of things to make a scene, for example, feel emotional, but this episode, it just didn't connect with me that much. Like the previous one, I did feel everything she was feeling, and I thought she did fantastic. But in this one, it felt very disconnected. Like if I didn't feel like, they were playing sad music and stuff, but I was like, I don't know. Like I kind of felt empty because that's the way that Ellie seemed. And I don't know if that was intentional, but I don't think it was the right call. I wouldn't have done it that way. I would have done it a bit more passionately, a bit more like, yeah, sure, I'm strong in the face of, company and being with other people. But as soon as I'm there in his home by myself, like completely break down. And the fact that we didn't really get that, it felt, I don't know, not as satisfying as I thought it would be. So yeah, I don't know. This episode felt a little bit one tone, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I
and
think
you kind of have to like give them the benefit of the doubt because we know what's coming. But obviously if I was an audience that did not know, I'd be like, that was a bit of a, especially after losing Pedro Pascal, this is not the kind of episode you want to have in your show. It's not the way I would have paced it.
Listen,
that's just my criticism. Because I am aware that a lot of people were probably like, fuck this show, I'm not going to watch anymore because Pedro Pascal is not in it. And then somehow Friday came through and they're like, thinking about it. Am I going to watch this episode? Okay, fine, let me give it a chance. And then this is what they see. I don't know how much of a hook it is for people to continue watching.
I think the issue, I agree with what you said, but I also think that another issue here is that we're sorely lacking the rage that we got in the games.
She was much more angry.
Yeah, I think,
at least for now,
the nonchalantness, not just from Ellie, but also from Tommy, I think kind of takes the wind out of your sails. And I feel like that was intentional.
I don't like the changes.
I feel like they're trying to prime us to feel a certain way by the time we get to certain plot points. And I understand the strategy behind it, because like we said, this is a very controversial story, and they went through hell when it comes to the games and the reactions that came from people. Yeah, the backlash was absolutely insane. People were utterly unhinged. So I understand certain choices that are being made. I do think that you do have to reach a point in telling your story where you say, to hell with it. This is the story that we're telling, right? You can't bow down to every single thing that people tell you, because then you're killing your story. You're taking away the edges and the nooks and crannies of your story. You're taking away its personality. So I have a feeling that this was just, for this episode, this would just make things harder for what we know is going to come. I'm curious to see how they're going to wing it, especially with the emotional state that we're left in at the moment. But I do agree with you when you mentioned that this should have been a stronger episode. There's nothing wrong with an episode being slow, but there were certain emotional stakes that I really feel were missing. Especially the rage. The rage should have been there. We should be fired up right now for next episode. Where we're like, oh, dude, let's fucking go. That's where we should be at right now. And they kind of prevented us from doing that. And you can tell that, with the actors as well, especially with Tommy and Ellie's reaction to this whole situation. I understand they had 3 months to cope, but no, that's not something that just goes away just like that.
Well, the thing I thought they were going to do is, have Ellie feel the way that she did the way that we started the episode. And then when Dina had that conversation with her, I was thinking that that's when we were going to see a change in performance. And it's like, oh, this is when everything comes back, the flashbacks and the trauma and the anger and the rage. And I was really just waiting. And then the episode ends and I'm still waiting. So, you know, I kind of like, that was the moment to really pivot in tone.
Yes.
And go back to that dark place. You can't be scared of having a heavy story because your story is innately dark and heavy. And I feel like maybe they were scared to scare off the other remaining audience that did choose to watch this episode now this week. And they were like, okay, we can't have 2 heavy episodes back to back. But I mean, that's drama. You gotta commit. It felt very much like, oh, we kind of just gotta go through.
It felt very nonchalant.
Yeah. We got to go through the motions and just kind of get these people to Seattle. Okay, let's write this thing. Like, you know, it just didn't feel, felt like the writers weren't excited at all for this moment either. They were just like, oh shit, we got to do it.
We got to get through it. So let's just get through it.
We can't do a montage. We can't do a montage. No. Okay. All right. Fuck.
It could have been. It could have just been a montage. But
hey, that's just our opinion on this episode. You know, let us know what you guys thought on the episode. Are you guys excited? They did introduce the scars. Very excited to talk about that next episode. See where they're gonna take that whole thing. Don't want to say too much, but they looked incredible. I like that we got to see the whole communication through whistles, because that is really awesome to see in live action. I had a great time with that sequence.
Yeah. There were certain things that we didn't really get to see before. Certain nuances, certain like
explanations,
like the backstory, the background behind certain things. Like I actually put names to the faces of these people, right? And you know, like in those few minutes that we got to spend with that little girl, it had an emotional impact seeing that they were slaughtered by the wolves. So certain things they definitely did right. That was one of them. So I can't wait to get to next episode and see what that's going to look like.
Yeah, definitely a lot of setup, guys. Thank you so much for watching this with us. We hope that you guys enjoyed. And as always, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.
See ya.